et Paris. J'ai deux amours, mon pays et Paris.
We are giving you an excerpt of what Miss Holiday offered this industry and the things that she has laid, such as and the foundations. But speaking of foundations, we have a very important person that we will have joining us for the review this evening. Because you know Josephine cannot be getting so hot. But then again, I am hot. I am always hot. I am such a flame, a burning flame. But this is Josephine. And speaking of divas, we definitely will be introducing one this evening. Good evening. I will be introducing the great Linda Szymd-Monich. She's the Associate Professor of the Dance Division at the Boston Conservatory at Berkeley, Boston Ballet School, Pre-Professional Program, BBS Newton Summer Dance Program, the Romantic Era Ballet Repertoire from the present Frederick Ashton, 21st Century Ballet Repertoire, Diversity in American Dance, A Short History, George Balanchine, Faculty and Staff Lectures, Diversity in American Dance, A Short History, Racial Stereotypes in Ballet, and the 21st Century Inclusion. Well, I don't think she needs any more introduction. She has a special... Is that my Chiquita? Is that Chiquita?
It's Lulu. My version is Lulu Monik.
Oh, Lulu is fabulous, just like you. But first, I must let you bid your way as the history of the Josephine Baker return.
Well, I am honored to be here, and I have to say this is a perfect moment to remember Josephine Baker, who was not only an accomplished artist but a committed social activist. She was the Beyonce of her era. She was funny, she was sexy, she was incredibly charismatic. She was born in St. Louis, Missouri, but when she was 11, the horrific St. Louis massacre occurred, where white mobs burned homes, killed the Black occupants. It was a horrific kind of massacre that preceded the Tulsa massacre at Black Wall Street by 4 years. So she was raised in this kind of very complicated, horrific, racist world of the early teens. She was one of the most famous symbols of the Jazz age. She was called the Black Venus. She kind of epitomized this vision of the Jazz age that combined the French obsession with Africa, because of course that's where their colonies were, and the American Jazz age, the music, the songs, the dances. Her career began on the Black vaudeville circuit before she became a chorus girl, the comic chorus girl in Cecil Blake's Shuffle Along, and then she had a chorus role in the Chocolate Dandies. Then she was offered a job that would change her life, to dance in Le Revue in Paris in 1925. She became a permanent resident of France for the rest of her life. She got to Paris when she was 19 in 1925. 2 years later, she was the highest paid performer in Europe, which is astonishing. Her fans included Pablo Picasso, Gertrude Stein, Langston Hughes, Coco Chanel. She was at the center of this kind of explosive modernism that was occurring in Paris at that time. She made 3 films in Europe, one of which was banned in the US because it included an interracial relationship. She had 4 husbands and 12 adopted children. She had a cheetah named Chiquita, no doubt named after her most famous costume, which was a kind of skirt of bananas that she performed at the Folies Bergère. she returned to America to perform in the Ziegfeld Follies in 1936. She was the first and the last Black female star in the Follies. She had 2 dances created for her by George Balanchine. One was controversial because she was partnered by 4 white men. She was crushed by the American reviews. Remember, she was a huge star in Europe. She was crushed by the reviews. In addition to that, she was staying at a fancy Park Avenue hotel and she had to enter through the rear entrance. She couldn't get a cup of coffee in the hotel. So she returned to France, gave up her American citizenship when she married the French citizen, her 3rd husband, Jean Lyon. I mean, what makes her so fascinating, she was not only this sort of revolutionary artist, but she worked for the French resistance during World War II, when, as you all know, France was occupied. She smuggled secret documents in her music.
I did not smuggle.
Well, hid carefully. She said, I want you to have a chance that I did not have, but I do not want you to have to run away to get it. And mothers and fathers, if it's too late for you, think of your children. Make it safe here so they do not have to run away. She also said, I walked into the palaces of kings and queens and into the houses of presidents, but I could not walk into a hotel in America and get a cup of coffee, and that made me mad. So she was this profoundly important person. When she was performing for the troops, she said, we've got to show that Blacks and whites are treated equal in the army. Otherwise, what's the point of waging war on Hitler? She said also, one day I realized I was living in a country where I was afraid to be Black. It was only a country for white people, not Black, so I left. I had been suffocating in the United States. A lot of us left, not because we wanted to leave, but because we couldn't stand it anymore. I felt liberated in Paris. So this is a brief outline of her. I encourage you to learn more. She was transformative. She was witty. She was funny. She played with the stereotypes of the exotic dancer that everybody saw her as embodying, but she was funny about it. She had wit. The great scholar Brenda Dixon Gottschalk said she was never the victim of the exotic stereotype. She was laughing through it all. She was making fun of the stereotype. She used her fame, she used her power to forcefully advocate against segregation, against discrimination and injustice with her incredible grace and profound political integrity. So I thank Josephine, and I just want to remind everybody of the great Faulkner quote, you know, the past is never dead, it's not even past. So we are living in a moment where Josephine Baker becomes even more resonant and even more important on this moment is there is a rally going on in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So I just want to say, bless you, Josephine Baker. Thank you.
Thank you, the great, lovely, fabulous Linda Szmyd. We love you and we honor you. Thank you for giving my history on the Josephine. I've seen some of Little Richard this evening, and I do tell you that you are not prepared for what the review was giving you. I want to thank most of you for coming up here this evening and joining me.
Thank you, Ms. Baker. Thank you, everyone. Wonderful job.
Thank you, Ms. Baker. Thank you for joining our virtual performance of Josephine Scotton. We hope to see you guys very soon. Please support the arts in this time. We need to support each other, love each other, and know that it is art and love that will carry us through to the next stage of life.